So I told myself that I was gonna stick with my annual planner for the entire year for the first time ever. That I wasn't gonna move into a mid-year planner when it came out, but I was wrong. Hi, I'm Carrie from InvisArt Planners, and I talk about all things digital planning on this channel. Today I'm setting up my new mid-year digital planner and doing a bit of a mid-year check-in as to what my planner lineup is compared to what it was at the start of the year. In May, I made a whole video about moving my weekly planner into Noteful, which I was planning on using for the rest of the year. But we made a few design updates to our mid-year planner and I just can't resist them. So here I am, starting yet another planner. I usually get an itch to start a new planner in the middle of the year anyway, probably because, that new school year starting soon type of schedule. So let me show you what my planner lineup looks like now that we're halfway through the year before setting up my new mid-year planner. Let's start with a look at my digital planners. The big change is I switched planning apps. I honestly didn't think I would ever change, but I moved into Noteful from GoodNotes and I'm really glad I did. I did a whole video talking about that and you can find it in the corner or the description below. I did end up finishing June in GoodNotes though. I thought May might be my last month there, but since I'm moving into my mid-year planner, it didn't make sense to keep June by itself. I also added another digital planner into the mix, and it's been the one that I've used most consistently throughout the year. I turned our weekly planner into a dog journal, and I'm obsessed. I keep track of different things we do with the dogs, like beach trips, walks, play dates, and every month I fill in the monthly faves page with their stories and adventures. Each week, I do a bit of journaling about whatever stood out or our favorite memories in the space beside the weekly calendar. On quiet weeks, I write about their personality or things that they're really interested in or reminisce about our previous dogs. I love writing these little stories about what we did, what they're interested in, just overall capturing snippets of their day-to-day. I'm going to keep using the 2026 planner for this because the font updates and design changes don't really make that much of a difference since I use photos and blank journaling stickers to tell different stories anyway, so you can't see most of the changes. So I guess it turns out that I am sticking with one annual planner this year, but I'm also tempted to move everything I had done in my dog journal from GoodNotes into this one. I thought that I wouldn't want to, but I think I want to have it all together now. Plus it's just adding in two-ish months. If you want to see a full scroll through of this planner, let me know in the comments below. Before I start setting up my mid-year digital planner, this was the rest of my lineup at the start of the year, and I wanted to do a quick update on it. I gave up on my dot grid journal. It was too much self-imposed pressure, and I've been trying to use it for a couple of years and keep getting stuck. So it's time to move on to something else. I'll probably use this one for random notes. I switched to using mini notebooks instead, and it's working so much better. These are actually old ones that I'm using up because I wanted to test them to see if this would work for me before starting brand new ones. So there is some other stuff in here. I have one for random thoughts I have when I work. It helps me stay focused and get the thoughts out of my head. I have another one for interstitial journaling, which I only do sometimes when I feel like I need it. And the final one is for my daily to-do list. I'm running out of pages in most of these, so I'm going to make a few more soon. Let me know if you want to see how I do that. It's a pretty simple process. And perhaps the only things that stayed the same are Notion and my brain dump notebook. If you want to see how I use these, check out the video I linked in the corner. So now let's set up the weekly planner that I'm going to use for the rest of the year. You can find a more thorough look at this process in our last video, so I'll keep this one quick. The first thing I like to do now that I'm using Noteful is set up layers. I usually forget to do this until I start actually planning, but this time I remembered. I have 4 layers, one for backgrounds, one for pictures, one for widgets, and one for active planning. Everything stays locked except for the planning layer. Setting up a month is always the fastest part of setting up a planner since I don't actually do any planning on it. That happens in Notion and my brain dump notebook. I just add in events, dates, and highlighter dots on days for friends and family's birthdays. Although this page always looks better at the end of the month, after I've added in pictures, mini stories, and cute tags for our events. Setting up a week is pretty straightforward too. I start with adding events to my weekly calendar. I add some of them with gray text and backgrounds and update their color to match the week once we confirm that they're going to happen. Then I write in priorities. I like to have 2 for work and 1 personal one to focus on. And for that personal priority, it's not usually a project that I want to focus on. It's some sort of day-to-day habit like making better food choices one at a time or making sure I do some sort of movement or stretch each day. I also add in my habits, which are pre-saved as a sticker. I just update the text color to match the month. And sometimes I like to add in an extra habit for that 5th slot that's blank. And then I drop in a daily gratitude widget. Outside of the pictures that I add later, this is my favorite part of the page. This is what I use the background layer for. I use the selection tool to copy and paste a portion of the page over the notes section so I can add in 1 more to-do list and make space for pictures. This is also why all of my layers are locked except for the planning layer. As I work, I move elements to their appropriate layer, like this box goes to the background layer, and they're automatically locked so I don't accidentally move it as I'm planning. And that leads me to the last couple of things I do each week. I add an extra to-do list widget for my side quests, which are really my personal tasks. Side quests is just a more fun way to put it. And I add in a couple of favorite recent pictures. Then I go back and write out my tasks for the week. And that's where my planner lineup is for now. I'm excited to see what it looks like once the new year rolls around, but I hope it doesn't pass too quickly. I already can't believe that summer is almost done. I love the way planning systems change and evolve over time. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you found a tip or two for your planner lineup. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to see more videos like this. If you want to watch more, check out this video. Or if you like Plan With Me videos, check out this playlist. Until next time, bye!